BUCU music has been making a lot of strides. So we just released a poem called Love Ain't Known.
Yes.
Very powerful poem from Sister Shahida. Worked with her to basically put together the whole video. It was a compilation of going to the Malcolm X Festival and also going to a couple of events out here in Sacramento, or not even events, but just going out here in Sacramento and finding some of our people here and, putting together pretty much a beautiful piece, speaking about just love amongst the people.
Yeah.
And that has been going really well. We got another video that's going to be dropping Friday to show the interviews that was being conducted because there was a lot of people that we spoke to at the Malcolm X Festival, and all of them, were speaking about that same subject of love. And so
Mhm.
even that's going to be beautiful. And a couple more things, but main thing has been just trying to be consistent in the promotion of BUCU through BUCU music. Um, Finding the stride. I think we found the stride at this point. We know how to make certain videos weekly and know how to take from those weekly videos and make something short daily. So we've been trying to keep up with that in order to promote BUCU. Also been looking into more research as to more methods to push it organically. So we've been learning how to what other kind of content or what kind of other work um, actually organically without having to pay for any ads or without having to pay for any pay anything yet. What else is some things that we can do to build community? And we've been doing a lot of research on that and found a couple of different methods that we want to try with BUCU. With all of the fact that we're going out more, there's a beautiful concert, or there's a Lake Fest concert that we'll be going to along with the Juneteenth on Saturday for us to participate in and get even more footage. So
Yes,
all of
sir.
that has been going really beautiful. BUCU definitely is getting a lot more presence, since we've been really striving to step up on pushing out, for more of it to be seen.
Yeah.
So, and with the BUCU music team, we've already pretty much set up what the whole year was going to look like. So we already know what the next videos will be. We already know what when the next performances come up, how we're going to film that. So the whole promotion for BUCU is, going really well. So a couple things we still want to
Yeah.
get. We want to get a poster board, or not just a poster board, but like a big poster of the album cover. Uh, put the QR code on it, and then whenever we perform, as people are leaving or if people are
Yeah.
there, as they're enjoying the show, they could just go over there and take a picture of the QR code and get the project real quick if they enjoy the music. But just looking at all kind of other ways to promote the work that we got. And that's just on the BUCU side. We have a whole lot of other beautiful things going on with our family, especially art, music, all of those particular fields is just full,
Yeah.
full of a lot of beautiful
Beautiful idea.
ideas, especially with the Live 3 to 5 team. The Live 3 to 5 team, we have a whole lot of beautiful subjects we do a lot of research on. So everything has been going beautiful. I think one of the biggest things we're striving to do, since we have a little bit more time, is pace ourselves. You know, one thing you could do is you can start being like, I could start bottlenecking. Trying to do so much that everything is moving slow. You know,
Yeah.
so that's one thing. Trying to pace ourselves to be very efficient, and when you do start the project, you can complete it. And then have something to actually present or have something to put out. And that's been a pretty good little process here for us. We are praying that that allows for us to really achieve a lot during the summer. And
Yes, sir.
coming out of this summer, just leave or come out of summer with a whole new launch pad for BUCU, whole new launch pad for everything else that we're doing. So that's how our time has been going. As far as any help that we can receive, it would just to be, any shares, any likes, anything to just
Yeah.
spread the word of what we're doing, just across the board. That'll just help a lot. Any type of shares or any letting anyone know what we're doing, that all of that is probably the biggest help. And then if anybody comes in and they're like, we want to join the editing team, or we want to join in and helping to, produce the content for BUCU, we
Yeah.
absolutely welcome that. So that is our report, Stella.
Yes, Jolly, good teaching. Good teaching. Yes, I know that everyone can pretty much relate to that when you have a lot of talent, a lot of ideas that you want to get them all out and you want to get that work done. And having the freedom to do so is something that our people also have to be blessed with. And so it's a blessing to even be able to put your ideas on paper, to bring it into fruition, and for it to be something that benefits our community. And so that's a great blessing. And we've been seeing all of the posts that you've been making, and it's been really, really great. And that's the promotional work that people need help with. I know I like being on social media, but as far as like posting and keeping up, making sure you're responding to people, that's a full job in itself, which is why people who are like content creators, it's like that's a full job to be an engaging personality, but also to respond to people so people want to come back to your channel. So that work that you've been doing is excellent. Thank you so much, Answer One.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, and we see Brother Shabbat on the line. Brother Shabbat, if you can share with us how this week has been for you, any milestones you've been blessed to accomplish, how all of us online can support you, and we will pass Brother Shabbat the line.
Assalamu alaikum, BUCU
Wa alaikum
family.
salam.
Alaikum
Well, I
salam,
would
sir.
say I had a beautiful past week, and just the other day, or was Saturday, I went to on a hike with one of the organizations Inside Garden, but they changed the name to Land Together now. But we went to up over Stinson Beach, hiked down 4.5 miles down to Stinson Beach,
Oh, wow.
spent some time on the beach. They waved in the water and did their little thing. And but it was a beautiful hike. Have been doing 1.5 miles so far, but the 4.5, well, it was 4.6. So but it was beautiful though. And
Yeah, that's
they got
good.
another one. They got another one this weekend, but I'm not gonna make this one because I have some Sunday already scheduled. So that's not gonna work. But other than that, the lineup was more so keeping me from that one. I may be having a couple of meetings. One is with two different printers, my nephew and young lady I was telling you
Okay.
about, to get some more stuff done. I got to get the
Yeah.
banner for Quest for Success in
Mhm.
Aqualine's banner done. So I have them for September.
Yeah.
So hopefully all that'll work out. If not this weekend, sometime during the week next week. So pretty much that's been it. And dealing with this paperwork, locking it in.
Yeah.
Other than that, just still pushing with the same thing. And I sent you, I just sent a text about this organization that they're dealing with down in West Oakland. When the young lady I was with at a meeting last night, after I left Art Joy, she was talking about the organization be dealing with the same thing we be talking about, for the gardening in the city, taking these vacant lots and stuff like that. They
Yeah.
pushing for that and other things. But she said quite a few individuals been with their own properties cutting down trees, talking about they're gonna put up fast food restaurants. We don't need no more fast food restaurants in
Not at
West
all.
Oakland. What we need is gardens, feeding
Yes.
ourselves and stop letting them poison us and getting all this extra money. You want us to buy your food, then you poison us with the food, then we got to buy your medication, you poison us with your medication. So in our organization, they speak against a lot of what's going on. So I said I was gonna eventually hopefully get a chance when we can we're online and we can check and see what they talking about and find out when it's because they don't have from what she told me they don't have regular scheduled meetings. They put them out when
Okay.
they get ready to have one. So I want to go to one in person. She said they'd be having events where different peoples be speaking about the city, West Oakland, East Oakland, different stuff like that. So I want to see what's
Mhm.
going on,
Yeah.
see what's happening, so we can. That's another connection we can have, a tie that we can support them, they can support us. We just go from there. But I'm gonna do some more research first and see
Yeah.
exactly what's going on. Other than that,
Yeah.
that's what pretty much been happening on my end, you know. So I'm gonna get the mic back to you, sis.
Yes, that is great. I really want to go on like a hike, a short beginner hike. I just need a hiking partner because my sister doesn't,
Mhm.
she's not interested in no hikes and no climbing, no mountains. But that sounds really good and peaceful to go on a hike, especially with, a group of people, take some youth, that's just amazing. I love that. And
Yeah.
yes, so I don't know if I told you all that East Oakland Youth Development Center is confirmed. They approved our application, approved the event. So that is where the September event is going to be. So it's a large location. It's beautiful, and we're really, really excited. And so, yeah, so getting everything prepared. What we want to do, maybe Wednesday, that's tomorrow. So tomorrow, Wednesday, we want to really talk about what everyone wants to do at that event, host a workshop, be part of the panel. But also, if you want to be an official partner for the event, we can put your logo on the website, on the flyers, and really make this a really big event, a convention. Invite everyone there and, have these workshops. We want it impactful. And so we're excited to know because Quest for Success has so many programs that are going to be beneficial for the community. And it's the agricultural program, the breast cancer awareness program. All of these things are really good and our youth needed. And just activism because when they talk about destroying nature in order to build fast food restaurants, we need the community to come forward and address that and not protest, but like petition and go out and talk and force we're supposed to be the constituents of this community, and they need to listen to the people who live here in regards to the fact that we don't need them flooding our community with junk. And but that's what
Yeah.
they try to do all the time. That's what they try to do. All the fast food restaurants be in our community. All of the refineries are in our community. All of the data centers are in our community. And so those things are purposeful, but we can come together to strive to do what we can to change that.
Yes.
Excellent. Thank you, Brother Shabbat. All right. And so let us continue with our reports. I see our beautiful sister Princess on the line. Princess, if you can share with us how this week has been for you, if you are available, and all of the things that you've been blessed to accomplish and where we can support you in your efforts. I know that you're doing such amazing work. And we just continue to see how amazing and impactful you are yourself. And I got my tickets today for July 12th, and I'm so excited. I cannot wait to go. And so we'll pass you the line for you to share with us how this week has been.
This week for me, so far has been good. I'm like, it's just getting started, but it's been good. I had an endoscopy yesterday and I woke up from that. Thank God. I'm like, so everything is
Okay.
good. They said my stomach is looking fine, but we don't know yet. They did some biopsies. So we'll find out soon if
Okay.
everything is really fine. So I'm excited about that, finding out like my health and making sure I'm okay. Because
Yeah.
like you said, I'm doing a lot of work, but I can't do the work if I'm not
Mhm.
feeling okay inside. So
Right.
I'm happy that that's going. Other than that, I just finished up my sewing classes with the kids. So I'm like, that was so fun. I love teaching them so much. Like I get so much joy out of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm like, I don't think Boba, stop. We don't need any assistance right now. I'm like, we have our July 12th event coming up. I was hoping to get free food there for like groceries to give out, but I think we partnered with somebody for that. So I was gonna ask the 144 elect to help us with that. But I think we have somebody, but just in case they are my backup. But yeah, I'm like, I'm really excited for that July 12th event. I will drop the link in the bio so y'all can get tickets and come with us too, please. Because please come. But yeah, I'm like, I think that's all I have to share. Life is good. I can't complain.
Yes. Yes, excellent. That's good. We're gonna pray that the results of your biopsy and everything come back with a clean bill of health. And we know that you also do gardening and things like that. And so even just a testimony of how to heal the body is so important, because so many of our people are affected by just where we live in itself is poisoning us, the air, the water, everything. And so being able to feed ourselves and heal ourselves is so important. And but we're gonna pray that everything comes back successfully. And I can't wait to see you on July 12th.
You as well. Real quick before I forgot about the gardening. So I live in public housing, and almost 3 years ago at this point, I was gardening here, and I started, and my neighbors loved it. So I was like, okay, let's expand. So I got like some big garden boxes, and I've been trying to partner with housing, but they've been so difficult. They've been giving me the runaround for the past 4 years, and I'm not somebody who stops. Like, I'm not going to take no, especially when it comes to free food for everybody in the community. And like West Oakland, we live in a food desert. There's one grocery store and everything else is a corner or liquor store. So I am with you. We don't need no more fast food over here. I'm like, we need healthy options for our people to be healthy. But so at first they were like, oh, we don't have the funding for the materials. So I found somebody. They got all the materials for us. They were going to pay for everything. And then housing was like, oh, but the wood chips, that could be a fire hazard. So we need rocks instead. I was like, okay, we can write for grants to get the rocks. They didn't want to hear me about that. Then they were like, oh, it's a safety issue. What if people get sick? I'm like, can we have them sign waivers or something to let them know, like, if you participate in this, this is, you know, you're liable for your own safety. But I'm like, no one's going to get sick. So it's just been like a huge thing. And I have another partner, Tendy Family Farms, and they were going to pay for it. Literally everything, y'all. Like, I don't know why they're stopping it. I'm still pushing for it. I literally just sent out new emails, but they haven't been responding to me. So I'm thinking that I'm gonna have to get some type of petition going with the residents, because I'm like, at this point, this is not gonna be my fight. I'm like, it's gonna be our fight. Like, we gotta go to, we really truly need this. Yeah, we have a garden space now too that we are stewarding at Sullivan Community Center, but I noticed that they planted it directly in the ground, and West Oakland has a history of lead in our soil, and our soil is just not good to plant directly in. So I'm gonna get soil tests before I start feeding people out of there and make sure that they know. I'm like, I'm not about to poison people. They're already growing stuff, but I'm like, I know y'all didn't do no soil tests, and I don't want to ask because I don't want them to like stop us from being there. So I'd rather get the test first and then show them the results. Like, hey, this is not good. So then I can tell other people, like, don't plant in the soil until they fix it. So yeah, that's where I'm at. But I have been trying so hard to get more gardens in Oakland. I'm like, anywhere at this point, just give me a garden, give me something. Like, people are starving, and my neighbors loved it. And they were even trying to plant in the ground. I'm like, yo, you can't do that. You're going to get sick. Like, I'm letting them know, like, you know, like, you can't just plant in the garden. I would love to. I would love for us to like be able to plant anywhere, but I'm like, it's dangerous and you'll be doing more harm than good to yourself in the long run. So there's that. If anyone has any resources, please let me know. But I'm truly thinking I'm going to have to go knock on my neighbors' doors and just start like a petitioning and go down there and speak to them, because they ain't responding.
Yeah, that's crazy. That's why we talk about systemic issues, because it's a system blocking something that's good for the community. And so that is what we're talking about today, with the freedom, having access to these things and being able to do what benefits our community is so important. And yeah, me and my sister want to get into gardening. My grandmother, she lived in West Oakland, over there, and she always planted something. She's from Arkansas, and she always had tomatoes, something growing. My mom said she grew up with corn growing in the backyard right in Oakland. And so we didn't really get that from her, other than the natural desire to want to garden. And so we really want to learn more about how to garden safely, everything that you're talking about. So we definitely want to get involved in everything you're doing. And now we're in Arizona, so we're in the desert. And so it's a little different. Yes.
We need to you and I need to get with Princess, so we can get with Home Depots, like what we was doing with ours.
Yeah.
To finish the grant and everything. Since she kind of ahead on with West Oakland Forest,
Yeah.
down there where she at and getting the soil tested. They probably could do that for us, and they can have that write off on their taxes and everything as well.
Yeah.
Give them some more raised garden beds, and have a set day where we have kids come out and they could see how they're being put together and everything else.
Yeah.
That'd be part of their training and everything.
Yeah. Yeah, that sounds good. Okay, we can get in touch on that tomorrow in the grant meeting.
Yes.
Yeah, because we need to send it in. So I also have like the Wells Fargo sponsorship, a few other funding opportunities that we can look into, see if they fit for us. That can be kind of long term and short term. So yeah, but that sounds good because the materials, all of that stuff, them people, they throw that stuff away a lot of the time. And instead of throwing it away, you can give it to us.
We could utilize it.
Absolutely. All right, excellent.
Did Princess say she was going to be at the meeting? Excuse me. Did Princess say she was going to be at the meeting?
They didn't send me no links yet, but I can be. Y'all canceled it for last week, right?
Yeah. Last week it was canceled. I had a lot going on, but this week it's on for sure. Tomorrow at 2.
Yes.
Okay. We can ask the brother in Richmond who has the home garden farm how he prepares his soil. Okay. That's the one that the brothers did their the performance with, I think. Yes, excellent. Okay, so that sounds really, really good. Thank you, Princess, for sharing that link. Wait, did I share it on our BUCU page? I think I did. I'm gonna make sure I send it to my cousins because they're all in Oakland and need something to do. So
Hey,
excellent. Yes.
We're talking about the brother that we took the temple to in Richmond that had the home farm in his backyard.
Oh, Mr. Barry.
Yeah,
Mr.
Mr.
We gotta check on him.
Yeah, so I'm sure he knows about soil too, because he had a very elaborate farm basically. And what was the name of that other farm y'all went to in San Leandro?
I don't remember their farm, the name of their farm. I know it was an older white couple. They were very sweet. I don't remember. I think they worked with some of the wisdom, I believe. And so
You may know who they are.
Yeah, they were very sweet.
Yeah, get some info on soil test, soil prep as we prepare, to take this.
Yeah.
This is prep for us to get our own land, have huge farms. We got to start in our own communities.
Yes, we absolutely do. We have to be in our own communities and we have to have the proper education. Like, for example, I knew about soil testing, but I didn't know about West Oakland having lead in the soil. And so having someone with experience like Princess who can come in and warn us about those things, it's like, a lot of stuff in our community is passed down from word of mouth. But if we certify and formalize how we pass this education to the next generation, then we can ensure that it's not hit and miss and that we can get a full class of young people in here learning how to sow, learning how to garden, and learning these important key details so that as they grow up, we can be confident that our next generation has what's needed to be successful. Excellent.
Yes,
thank you so much. That makes us so excited because what we're building is not even just for Oakland. This is for the entire United States of America. And then beyond the United States, it's for the whole world, the whole diaspora of our people. But of course, we have to start where we are, where we live, our ethnicity, as they call it, right here in America. We want to go beyond just Oakland, beyond the Bay Area. We going to Sacramento, LA, then we got to get out of California, go to Texas, everywhere our people are. We want them to hear that not only do our community have all of these opportunities, but their community have all of these opportunities. We can go to Texas and find so many organizations doing amazing work, and we want to spread and show and invite and unify the unifiers there and take this theology with us. And so that's something that's very, very important. And we want to take all of Team BUCU with us. So everyone who is on our team, just know that our goal is to take this worldwide, take this theology that we have of unifying the unifiers across the country and then across the world to every Black community. Literally, Black people in Scotland, BUCU is coming. Black people in China, BUCU is coming. And that's what we want to do. And so we are going to continue to get more reports. I see our beautiful, beautiful sister, Lee White. If you could share with us who invited you to BUCU, tell us a little bit about yourself, the work that you do in the community, and how we can support you. Our jewel for today in our discussion is freedom. And we define freedom as unhindered access to opportunities for the attainment and acquisition of information, education, training, and resources. We're talking about this jewel all this month, and pretty much everyone who speaks just gives us their input on the jewel and how what you do in your organization or your work fulfills this. And I'm pretty sure it does. So we'll pass you the line to introduce yourself and tell us more about you.
Okay, my name is Lee White. Actually, I was a part of the BUCU community last year, but
Okay.
I had a tragedy, so I couldn't.
Okay.
So my first meeting back was last week, and I did have one telephone number, and that was from Brother Hester Cleveland. So I contacted him because I needed some information from him, and then I ended up attending the meeting, and what they presented last week is why I'm here this week before was why I'm here this week. So my name is Lee White, of course, but I'm building a record label company that's for children and well, it's all children, but I'm building it in West Oakland. My granddaughter was connected to a school when she a high school where she graduated from that was connected from a middle school, and a 6-year-old boy committed suicide because kids were teasing him on TikTok about him liking a little girl, and that just touched my heart. And it brought a dream back to me that was given to me when I was younger. I always wanted to open up a record label company. So it started out as me building a record label company, but it's targeted for our youth. Mainly is what it's targeted. And so it's a school that'll teach them how to have self-reliance, confidence, how when they're faced with an issue about whatever the issue is, they'll be able to handle it. But also it's about their talent, their musical talent, whether they want to be in front of the mic or behind the mic. So the school part of that will be built on that and how to develop their talents, as well as how to handle themselves and represent themselves. They're not, I won't require them to join my record label company, but of course, that's what it's going to be based on. And I am a vocalist. I've been singing since I was 8 years old. And actually, I was the leading of a band since I was 18 years old. But I connected with BUCU, and I was also looking for a brother that plays congas in the community. His name is Achebe Natoto. So, but during that meeting, they talked about grants. There were organizations there, but they talked about I think it's eBay grant and the workshops that are happening, and I want to be a part of that if I can, because I do need funding. And let's see, is there anything else? I'm trying to be brief because I know, but I think that's
okay.
I do need to put my email information in the chat. I'll do that because I didn't last time. So I'll do thing because Brother Cleveland has been instrumental in sending me the link the last time I was here and today. So that's basically it. Is there any more questions or?
Yes, that sounds good. Okay, so so yes, put your information in chat. We are having a grant meeting tomorrow. And I have a grant page that I strive to update often, that when I find grants or if someone sends me grants, because people are sending me grant information all the time, and I try to just add it to this page. And so I'll put that in chat as well. So then you can review that whenever you want to and look and see if there's anything that fits.
Okay, and one more thing I forgot to
Okay.
say, that school is going to be centered around Tupac, because Tupac is
Okay.
a gangster. He-
Right.
and he's popular with all ages, but he was also bipolar and dealing with, and I'm bipolar too, but dealing with mental issues. And that's
Mhm.
what gave me the idea that God dropped me in my spirit one day. And and I've been looking for funding and stuff like that for a while. So I didn't want to leave that out.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So that sounds good. So there is, I see I'm scrapping in chat, the Young Futures Grant. Let's see, when the Young Futures Grant is a grant for that's dedicated to the youth, and it centers the arts, so something artistic, and that'll fit that perfectly. We
Yeah.
have to see when it opens up again.
Okay.
It's a big grant. It awards up to 50,000 to 100,000, I believe. And so
Okay.
it's a big grant that will be really helpful for those who work with youth specifically. And
Uh-huh.
so tomorrow we can go over this grant. I think we have to see when it opens up again. I think it's an annual grant.
Uh-huh.
And so, yeah, so we'll go over this grant opportunity tomorrow. And I know most of us on this line have a youth-centered program. And so what we do in our grant meeting is we want to help each other in the preparation for this grant. And so, or for grants in general, either we're researching together, we're, learning together, or we're filling these opportunities out together online. And so I'll make sure you get that invite and we can look into some funding.
Okay, thank you very much. And even though it's mainly for the youth, I won't turn away adults either that need help. So thank you. And I'm
Yes, you're welcome.
in now.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, a lot of adults are just children in big adult bodies. So sometimes we just have to recognize that.
Yeah.
Suffering from, trauma from their childhood.
Yeah.
Stunted, but yes, thank you so much, Miss Lee. That's amazing. I think I do remember you from last year. I remember you telling us about this record industry.
Yeah.
Or the record company that you're opening. So I'm so happy that you're back with us. A few weeks ago, me and my sister were coming back out here, so I wasn't on the line, but I'm excited that you're back with us, and we will continue to grow. So we do have an event coming up September the 5th. At East Oakland Youth Development Center. And so once we have everything prepared for that, we will invite you to determine how you want to participate. You're invited to either be a vendor, you're invited to partner with us to present a workshop. You can host a workshop there. All of these things are available, and I'll make sure to get that over to you as well.
I would love to perform. I'm a vocalist as well.
Okay, yeah, we got performance.
If you have a workshop that I have experience in, if I can do both, I'll do both.
Okay. Yep, that sounds good.
Okay.
Thank you, Miss Lee.
Thank
That's
you.
amazing. Okay, so let us continue. I see And Some Other Wisdom on the line. And Some Other Wisdom, if you can share with us how your week has been, all of the amazing work that you're doing, because I know that you are busy at 144,000 elect, and how all of us can support you in the work that you do. Again, today's jewel is freedom, and this is unhindered access to opportunities for the attainment and acquisition of information, education, training, and resources. And so what 144,000 Elect does is the fulfillment of this jewel, the food insecurity program, feeding the youth, feeding the children, and mental health awareness all provides access. And so we'll pass the line to the beautiful And Some Other Wisdom to share with us how everything has been.
Yes, ma'am. Sajalu. Yes, ma'am. It has been going very busy. It's like things moving really quickly. At 144,000, we started our youth program, which is a free meal for 18 and under. The advertisement of it from the Alameda County Food Bank, and being that it's like a state-funded program, is, things has been delayed as far as the advertisement and everything in reference to the program. Actually, I met with them today, and truthfully, it should have been advertised before school let out.
Yeah.
Because you have, with school letting out, people already set their summer plans. Either children is in summer school or they away. So the attendance have been low for the youth program. Which we know that is actually a need, for the free meals. But of course, with being that is a need and people is not necessarily really coming, it shows that, to them, the statistics that they see, that is not a need. However, if you haven't gave us material to outreach and to advertise, it shows that it's not a need, which it is really a great need.
Right.
But that's one program, and then we have our food distribution, on Wednesdays and Saturday, which that has, that continued to grow, which is really a blessing. We was blessed to meet with Sister Princess. I'm not for sure if she's on the line.
Yes, she is.
Oh, okay, great. So we was able to meet with her on Saturday, and she can see, how busy we was, like just in coming in, we was like, okay, had to have a quick, little meeting to collaborate with the program that she have. That's also a grant. I'm pretty sure. I'm not for sure if she spoke about that, while I wasn't on the line. But I'm excited to partner 144,000. Excited to partner with her with a grant that she received as far as with the site. And a part of her grant is also covering mental health. So we will collaborate with our mental health program. So that's a new project, that we will start as of August. So that's a good collaboration there. And just trying to, I just pulled up, from home from a long day at 144,000. So, really good and excited about the new programs and, tapping into the freedom, overall is being free from the oppression and just the struggles of the world, because we know what we need, so when you're going into the different degrees that we need, I've been in several meetings, today, and, make us free from want of what is beside the supreme being. That's the true freedom, of being able to sustain and, they have the saying, keep your head above water below the heat. So when you are free of the things that is not healthy and good for you, so that's the true freedom. That's the true freedom that we're seeking for. So those are our degrees. Sajalu.
Yes, Sajalu. That's right. Good teaching. Yeah, that is excellent. We want the freedom to be our true self, which is, being one mind, one body, one soul, knowing who self, God, and the devil is, and being able to have the access. We've been hindered, we've been blocked off, we have been deceived from birth. And so rewiring our brains is a work. But we see that everyone on the line with us is doing that work of helping our community, and it's so, so, so very needed. Miss Lee was talking about the bullying, and bullying is an epidemic around the world, actually. If you see how some of our Asian families, how they deal with bullying in their countries, it's extreme bullying, and it's outrageous. And the fact that it's like, the way that the world is right now, the world is breeding out empathy from our children. And so the children have no empathy, the children have no care, they have no respect. And it's very important for us to address these issues, especially in our community, because historically our community has not been this way. And so historically our community has had low suicide rates, but the suicide rate, especially for young boys, young adolescent boys, is increasing significantly. The rate that our boys commit suicide is going up. I believe it's faster than other communities, but I'll confirm that. But regardless, our young men are committing suicide. And so we have to address all of these things. And the first thing is access. They have too much access on the internet to see things that are harmful to their mind, harmful to their development. And there is a continued push to separate child from parent and to, isolate a child so that they can be fed by something that's not righteous. And then they develop these mental issues and these insecurities that eventually lead them to feel really bad about themselves. And we have to address those things in our community. And there are a lot of people doing that work, like 144,000 Elect, like Princess, like Miss Lee, who see the need for us to address the mental health of our children and what they're seeing online. They're seeing, like, you can scroll on your social media at 10 years old and you'll see a video of somebody just being shot. No blur. Before, when we were younger, I'm 34, so when we were younger, they blurred. You couldn't see those. No, it's unblurred, no trigger warning, nothing. You just, and your eye catches it so quickly, it doesn't matter if you scroll past it. It's gone into your brain, it's gone into your conscience. And how does that affect a young child growing up seeing that over and over and over and over again? And a lot of the times, if you're Black, you're being fed an algorithm that shows you Black people being killed, being shot, being beaten. And this has a harmful effect on our children. And then we wonder why they're suffering from mental issues. Well, their brain is being invaded by destruction. They're being destroyed. And so we have to set ourselves right in between there. We have to be on social media so that when they scroll, they see something beautiful, something positive, and change the algorithm. But that's a work. And that's why we have to unify the unifier so that we can do that work together. We need thousands of people posting good things online for our youth to see and to feed their minds with, and not one or two, because that just gets drowned out. We need thousands, millions posting constantly about how great you are, how beneficial you are, how impactful you are, how much you matter to this world. That's what our children need to see. And so we're thankful to be in a position to meet so many people who see how important that is. All right, so let us continue. So since we got all of our reports, let's go into our discussion for the day. We have a discussion suggestion from our BUCU member, Sister Shahida Muhammad. She sent us a topic that we have been looking into actually for a little bit of time, but we're going to read what she says. She said that it'll be good if we speak about the Neuralink chip. If you all don't know, Elon Musk has a Neuralink chip that they can put in your brain and do all the things that the movies have been experimenting or, playing around with for years. And so she says the fact that there have been many of our brothers being used as guinea pigs in 2026. Elon Musk and his followers are masking it by making it seem innocent. However, they do make evil seem fair seeming, like it's supposed to be for their benefit of quadriplegic or epileptic individuals and others with special needs. But I don't believe that. I'm absolutely for improvements and changes that improve one's livelihood. However, we know this enemy is not to be trusted. Just wanted to know your thoughts. And so she sent us a few links of the capabilities of this technology and how they are promoting this technology. And then I have a link from a woman who is on TikTok, and she's been investigating Neuralink and what Neuralink has been doing and where it is. And she has found a connection between Neuralink and the immigration enforcement or immigration facilities, detention facilities, their proximity, the fact that there has been a number of immigrants who have been supposedly detained, but their location is unidentified. And, just some very strange things that make you raise your eyebrow. We know for a fact that we know just throughout history that our community has been experimented on. There has been multiple lawsuits and accusations that our brothers behind the walls have been experimented on. There has been videos that float around the internet. I'll see if well, we don't want to really see that. But I'll see if I can at least show that this is a real thing, that there are special need brothers that are behind the walls that are supposedly given some sort of incentive to participate in experiments. And they have videos of these things. And so it's very upsetting, but it's something that we have to know so that we can combat it, because we're talking about freedom. Before you even know how important it is for you to have freedom, you need knowledge, wisdom, and understanding. And so let's look at what Sister Shahida sent us, and then we can have a discussion about what we can do. Basically, we know that we have, it's one of, as far as the answer on Muhammad, it's one of our main goals is to get to the brothers behind the walls, because it's very important. So they are one of our priorities. However, I know that there are so many of our people who understand how important it is for us to not only have connections with our family behind the walls, but to in some way reach them, talk to them, give them knowledge, feed into them, so that they have something when they get out. And that's something that's very important. So let me share my screen. Go, bye. Number 2. All right. I have my people here. Okay. All right, so we're gonna start. So Neuralink, this is their website, and this is what they're showing: neural signals to life-changing impact. So you see they have a special needs individual, and they're showing that he can benefit from this technology in one way or another. I'll get some more videos of what they're talking about, but like she said, they're trying to mask it as being something for special needs individuals. And they're having clinical trials, and they're telling people that you can actually sign up for a clinical trial. Control devices with your mind, communicate with your thoughts, and then see without your eyes. This is an upcoming trial. So these are active trials that you can sign up for. And so that means that there are people, and some people, I know that there are some people who, because you can get paid from doing this, there are some people who are in such dire straits that they would participate in something like this. And that's what they're counting on, that you are in such a condition, it's so hard for you, that you will be willing to allow them to put something in your mind, in your brain, in order for them to basically test it out and see if it works. And they don't report to us how many fail, if there's any fatalities, those things they keep silent. So Sister Shahida sent this video. So let's look at it. 1 second.
Who just got the Neuralink chip in the side of his head to control a mouse. Take a look at this.
Do you have any side effects?
No, I don't have any side effects.
Do you have any?
I don't have any.
Can you feel it?
I can't feel it. I was able to do it, and then I did it.
And how long did that take you?
That took me about a week.
And then you went home and
I practiced at home.
And so what do you think the biggest benefit of this is?
The biggest benefit is that it's going to help people with spinal cord injuries and people with Parkinson's disease and people with epilepsy and people with depression, anxiety, and all these different things. I could still move the mouse with my mind.
Have you seen it?
Yeah, I had. It's actually pretty cool.
Is it like a chip?
It's a small chip, yeah.
So I'm curious about the device itself, the actual, how long did it take you to get used to it?
It was a process, it took a few months to really get comfortable with it, but now it's just part of me, in my head.
Can you show us?
Can you show me where? Right here. So the future is going to be amazing. We're going to be able to do so much more.
I grew up in Detroit, Michigan, where there were just things that you had to learn. Even though someone can smile and tell you everything is good, you want to try this. Me and my boys, we look. Nah, we good, man. Appreciate it though. And go to school. In my opinion, that don't look right. And I'm not going against nobody else. All I'm saying is it's not adding up with the benefit of humanity without another agenda behind it. a deeper, more insidious one that aligns with the scriptures in the Bible about the end times with the mark of the beast in your hand or in your forehead, in your head, in your head, in your head. Use your head. This doesn't mean that at all, you guys. This is for entertainment purposes only. I'm not saying this just because he's a black man and you get a black man just to say it's cool. The entire world will be more influenced because a black man holds power to say something is good. As a test subject, no, not at all. Not at all. In fact, if I've seen him in person, I would have a conversation.
Okay. So that is one video. And this is interesting. So they're accepting human trials. And this at least this is the only video I've seen of one of the people who actually have the chip in their head talking. And of course, it's a black person. We know that black people are the influencers of the world. And so this is one of the reasons why we see all of these organizations and people really use black people, black culture to promote what they're doing. I did find this video of how this Neuralink works. Let's look at this really quickly.
Neuralink starts with a surgeon drilling a hole in your head about the size of a coin. Then a robotic arm carefully inserts the ultra-thin, flexible threads into your brain. These threads are finer than a strand of hair and are equipped with electrodes that directly interact with the cells in your brain. This implant is capable of interpreting your thoughts and applying them to real-life actions. Neuralink starts.
So that's unacceptable. I just wouldn't do that. Okay, so let's just look. We're just gonna look at a little bit of her video because she's very interesting. Her whole video is really, really good. I'll put it in the chat. And this is what she does. She researches and investigates, like deep investigation into, things that people are trying to hide and cover up. And of course, you can't hide and cover up everything too much, but most people never look. Well, she's looking. And I always thought that her video was really interesting.
Some jarring information tonight, and I have to tell someone about it. So I've been keeping tabs on Neuralink a lot lately, Elon Musk's brain chip company, because with all of the 1930s style propaganda coming from the White House as of late, I just have this really bad feeling that Elon Musk might be our Dr. Joseph Mengele. And here's why. First of all, if you haven't already, please go follow me over on Substack, The Dre Dossier. It's free. The link is in my bio. This full video is going to be posted there along with a deeper dive and with all of my sources cited. So please go subscribe. So in July of 2025, this year, Elon Musk announced that Neuralink needs to go from 7 brain implants to about 1,000 implants by the end of 2026. Now, that's about 993 people over the course of, 15 months now, who would be willing to get an experimental brain surgery. That's like 60 some odd patients a month. And at the rate in which it took him to get 7 done, feels nearly impossible, if you ask me. Now, there are a couple things that have been bothering me, especially about these Neuralink sites, because they have approved through the FDA 2 sites in the United States. One, which is in Phoenix, Arizona at the Barrow Neurological Institute, and the other, which is in Miami, Florida, which is at the University of Miami, which has a big neurological brain study program. Both of those cities also have really, really large ICE detention centers very close by. Now, yes, in Miami, they have Alligator Alcatraz, but they also have Chrome Detention Facility, which is like their super large one where a lot of the intake usually goes through. From December of 2024 to February of 2025, there have been 3 deaths once a month at Chrome Detention Facility, and all of them had to do with neurological symptoms like brain hemorrhages and seizures and vomiting and the like. Not unlike what a lot of the outcomes of the monkeys that Elon Musk used to operate on looked like. Just for the record. Now, there's a different kind of pattern that's equally concerning in Phoenix, Arizona. So Neuralink operates, like I said, at the Barrow Neurological Institute, and then right nearby there are major ICE detention facilities, Eloy and Florence. Now, the amount of time spent in solitary confinement at these Arizona facilities went from 14 days in 2024, which had been a pattern since like 2021, to 38 days in 2025 as the average. Like that's a 271% increase. 38 days is more than a month with no witnesses, no oversight, no documentation of what's happening. And all of this just so happens to be going on and increasing right when Neuralink is also trying to desperately scale up their operations so they can stay competitive with other countries. So those patterns have been bothering me for quite some time now, right? Especially with the alligator Alcatraz now like missing hundreds of detainees that have no record and like all of it. So I decided to dig a little deeper tonight and I went to usaspending.gov, which is this website where you can search for all of the federal contracts that are made public. So you can search for anything related to, I don't know, the Department of Defense and neurosurgery, for instance. And that's when I noticed something kind of weird happening because Honolulu kept coming up a lot with DoD contracts and neurological surgery, like over and over and over again. And I'm thinking to myself, why Honolulu? Like, what's going on in Honolulu? I mean, all of them were from the Department of Defense, and they were all for these different neurological services, neurological procedures, neurological surgery practices, like, and they were all ramping up starting in 2025. And the company that was getting all of these contracts was called NIR LLC, and the work was being performed out of Triple Army Medical Center, which is this really big military hospital in Honolulu. I'm thinking to myself, like, okay, well, maybe this is just normal medical family military care. But when I went to look up NIR LLC to see if I could learn more about them, there was nothing about them online. There's no company website. There's no physician names, nothing on them. I mean, for a medical contractor who's doing so many neurological surgery procedures with federal money, not having so much as a website feels odd. But then at the very bottom of the Google search, I saw a link to a MapQuest that said NIR and it had like a little point of where it was. So I clicked the link and it showed NIR LLC at the location of 888 South King Street in Honolulu. Now, if you were to look up NIR LLC on any other map, nothing comes up. But when you type in 888 South King Street, Honolulu, something does come up. And that something is Straub Medical Center, which is one of Hawaii's largest civilian hospitals that has a major neurology and neurosurgery department. So now I'm really confused, right? Because why is their billing address a commercial office building, but then they're actually operating out of a civilian hospital with a huge neurosurgery center, but then the Department of Defense is paying them for services at a military hospital all on the same island? Like, this feels like a paper trail that's being obfuscated on purpose a little bit. I'm thinking, well, maybe does Neuralink operate out of Honolulu, Hawaii? And I just didn't know about it. And I look it up and no, Hawaii isn't listed on the official trial site. It's just Miami, Florida, and Phoenix, Arizona, and then Toronto, Canada. I'm thinking to myself, well, just because the FDA doesn't know about it doesn't mean that it's not necessarily happening. So I decided to go on LinkedIn to see if I can find anybody who has Neuralink listed as their current employer and also lives in Honolulu, Hawaii. And that's when I find two people. First one is a clinical project manager who works at Neuralink and lives in Honolulu, Hawaii. And it looks like she's been with Neuralink for a few years now. And I looked at her job responsibilities and it said trial site management, implementation of clinical trials, management and oversight of external vendors, negotiating and building relationships with organizations. She manages trial sites and external vendors, but Hawaii isn't an official Neuralink trial site. So what you doing, sis? The other person I found was this guy who runs something called Hang 10 Capital, and he lives in Honolulu, Hawaii. And it's a private equity firm that also runs out of Honolulu, Hawaii. And they invest in things like fintech and food startups, but I looked at their portfolio and saw Neuralink listed. Right, so we have some smoking guns in Honolulu. But I'm thinking to myself, okay, so if the thesis here is that something sus is going on with Neuralink and the operation facilities being close to ICE detention centers, does this fit that thesis? Like, is there an ICE detention facility near these, medical facilities in Honolulu? And oh boy, did I regret asking that question. Apparently, in February of 2025, ICE had signed an agreement to start housing detainees at FDC Honolulu. That's a 992-bed detention center facility. Like, I didn't know about, did anybody else know about this? And then I found an article from July 2025 that was talking about this and was saying that detainees were being transferred to Hawaii from Florida and Arizona detention facilities, the exact two states where Neuralink trials had started. And so I looked at the distance between FDC Honolulu and Straub Medical Center, where NIR LLC actually operates from apparently, and it's 8 miles, a quick 15-minute drive. And to make things worse, at the same time in February of 2025, when that agreement was being signed between ICE and Honolulu, Elon Musk's Doge was still in the White House. You remember that? And they had apparently, while they were there, had fired 20 FDA employees that month in February. And so I looked up which department they were from, and they were from none other than the Office of Neurological and Physical Medicine Devices. Yeah, the exact office that oversees Neuralink's clinical trials. Anyone else feeling a little bit queasy, or is that just me?
Okay. All right. So she does some amazing investigative research. I think everything she found there was definitely a smoking gun. She presented it very well. Just what it looks like there is that they are disappearing immigrants And we know that this happens to prisoners as well, because right now there are prisoners whose families have not been in contact with them, who are not listed on the prison websites. Where are they at? No one knows. Where are these illegal immigrants or supposed illegal immigrants that were detained, but now their records are missing? This is all what's pointing to the idea of the long information that we've known, that experiments occur, but she put it together very, very well. And so we'll open the floor for some input. There is one other thing I want to get some input on to share with you all. But what do you think about not only having this information and what this helps us with, but what can we do not only to protect ourselves, protect our community, but protect people who are in these situations? Is very difficult because they don't have control over where they're going, what they're doing. If their family is not made aware of these things, what can we do in these situations other than spread this information? And that's something that really helps, and one of the reasons why the government likes to hide it, because they don't need millions of citizens showing up to this location, protesting and making a bunch of noise and bringing a bunch of global attention to these issues. And so they hide it and they make it seem like it's far-fetched. And so we'll open the line for some input from everyone on what you think about this information about Neuralink overall, and these chips, and them accepting clinical trials, and then also how that relates to the attack on citizens, on individuals, prisoners, and illegal immigrant detainees.
Shabbat, I'll speak up. Go back to the chip for a moment. That's all part of the capitalist society, and the FDC, former drug administration, because they put all this poison into our food where that affects our pineal gland. The brother said he could move the mouse with his brain. If we have the power and the knowledge to use our pineal gland, what they have poison and put stuff around it to seal it off, we will be able to do that without a chip.
Right.
The chip, the testing is just the start. And then they're gonna start charging people for it, because they started back in the late 90s, when they was, whether mid 90s, when they was doing the white kids, when they was talking about the white kids was coming up missing and all of that. They were still in their own peoples at the time. And when they got, focused on it, they start going back to the minorities, start pulling minorities kids away from them. And it just grew and grew, because they don't care about when minority kids come up missing, even adults. But the pineal gland, the reason why we only use maybe a couple percentages of our brain cells as it is, because they have put fluoride and the pollution in the air and all that. And when we start cleaning up our system, like Minister said, back when we eat to live, not live eat, because all that chemicals and poisons within our food, we need to start doing that a lot more. That's why I'm so bent over growing our own vegetables, growing our own, even get to the point where we have enough property where we can have our own goats and sheep and everything else. If we want to go with cows, we'll put cows out there. But it's more so, away from that.
Yeah. Oh, Brother Shabbat dropped.
Can I say something? Is my mic open?
Yes, we can hear you.
I want to hit 3 points, I think. The first one is, because we just saw this, my brain hasn't really processed everything, but I will say this. I've been in technology since before 1992, African American and a woman. And I retired from Apple right before the pandemic.
Okay.
My son works at Tesla. And as an employee, he bought a Tesla. As I ride in that car and I observe how that car operates, Elon Musk has the way he thinks is very dangerous, but very strategic, and he's focused on money. And he wasn't just Trump's friend, that he came out on Trump and told him, without me, you wouldn't have won the election. And I believe that. But he's in space, he's in cars, he's now doing robo-taxi, which I ride because it's cheaper than Uber and Lyft. But what they're doing, and one of the things that my son opened my eyes to, they're getting ready to make a lot of people jobless. That's the whole thing with these robo-taxis and stuff like that. Because while the robo-taxis are being manned now, at least his is, and Uber and Lyft, they have a future date of nobody being in the car at all. You'll just be monitored as you're riding from one spot to another. And that's what's happening. He closed down his car his robo-taxi in Reno, and then the Fremont plant is going to be leaving. And it's all down in Austin, Texas. So he's already doing things on different fronts. And so his ability to do what we just saw in that video is very deep, very deep. And that's probably, and she probably doesn't even know the half of it.
Yeah.
So I would say whether we're Christians, Muslims, whatever it is that we are, connecting with the universe, we need to be able to start thinking ahead as well as to not what's going on now, but and not just where we're working in the community, but even further than that, in terms of being open to our spirits and what we feel and what we need to do and how we need to move forward. That's all I want to say for right now. But I'm glad you shared that with us.
Yes, ma'am. Yeah, that's excellent. Thank you so much. That's really interesting, that perspective on Elon. He's definitely about money. Definitely, he thinks in a way that you can tell that he grew up a colonizer in South Africa, and that breeds a certain type of, mentality.
Exactly.
So we'll go back to Brother Shabbat because I know you dropped.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Oh no, it's okay. Oh, you're muted, Brother Shabbat.
Yeah, he's a prime head leader of the capitalist society. He's doing the technology. Bill Gates is doing the Food and Drug Administration. He was testing what they call it over in Africa when Ibrahim kicked him out from over there when he was testing for the virus to kill off malaria. But when they come to find out, and they ran tests on the mosquitoes that they brought over there out of the lab, malaria viruses went up, infections went up. And when they went into the lab, they found out he was poisoning people, even with the food, because bioengineered seeds, after the first harvest, the soil would be dead for a couple of years. So Ibrahim told him and the rest of his hand-picked people, they got to get up out of there. He gonna say, you can't kick me out. Your leaders let me in here. Ibrahim told him and them, they got to go too for letting him in there. So he took the plant, and now he came back to the state. Just him with Katy Perry and her husband to use 150 to 200 acres of theirs to build a property. He wanted to buy the property. They said no, they want to be a part of it. So that so that's why we ain't on that level buying much property, but we keep something inside of a dump so they can't spray us overnight. When we planes over and spray our vehicles and everything. If we do it, We just sit around and for them to do it. We can argue it. And on the whole, masses, we're so far behind. On a smaller level,
Brother Shabbat, you dropped.
Brain
Brother
froze.
Shabbat? Brother Shabbat? Okay, Brother Shabbat probably, yep, he'll probably get back on. I see he's still here. Yeah, that is very, very true. It's really the way that the power structures work. Everything is specifically for their benefit, like the capitalist society. And like Brother Shabbat said, they all work together in order to get to their end goals. And that's something that we can see them doing that strategically. And so as they are being strategic and as they are purposely, coming together for their evil desires, we have to be strategic in unifying, educating our community, teaching our children. There has been a increase in Black youth going missing, and some of that may just be this crazy society that we live in, but there are a number of people who have just fallen off the face of the earth. You can't, there is no sign of them. There are cameras literally everywhere in this country, on every corner, on every block, on every car, on every store. There's no way that you can't find some trace of someone. You can't find them being forced into a car. Absolutely nothing. And so that's something that we also have to be mindful of. But that's why we have education, because we have to come together to educate our youth. But we will go back to Brother Shabbat. I see you're back. Oh, and then he's gone. Okay, he'll be back again. Okay, so let's see. I got some more information on Brother Elon. Brother Elon.
Before you move on, globally,
yes,
to step up globally, because
yes,
they tried to
definitely
go into Africa and take our countries that had diamonds, and Africa ran them out. So that's why I said we as a group, even though we're coming at the same thing and have the same spiritual essence in general, we have to do that globally, because they're doing it they've done it globally. They tried to do it and they're not successful. So we can't just look at America. We need to, and it's more than capitalism. The economy now is global. And that's where we need to be thinking global in every.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yes.
Global is super important. Yes, go
Let
ahead,
me just say
Brother
this before I drop again. If they could look find a label on from the satellite billions of miles over us, they can find those kids. They know where they're at. They're not lost. They moved them over there. It's human trafficking for body parts, for testing, and all kinds of stuff. And the biggest harm is not so much, even though it's a harm for young males, but the more harm is for the young girls, because the young ladies are being into more because of what they're testing for. They can be tested on more because you queens are the seed to life. They know that. Go back to the 50s and the 40s, and before that, it was testing, after slavery, as they call it, that without anesthetic and all of that, because they say y'all don't need it because y'all can withdraw the pain and everything else. But that's where they're at now. They still feel that same way. So they taking little babies out of the hospital and just don't even know what happened to the baby. They say the baby died at childbirth and all that. Their kids are the only ones dying at childbirth because their seeds are so weak.
Yeah.
But not young Black girls, young Black much they just lie they're putting out. If they find, why you won't let the mother see them in the casket? Why you won't let the mother go down to the refrigerator and see their kids? Time is too much trauma. No, you doing the trauma. That's what it is. But my phone is messing up right now, the reception. So not only that, I'm gonna go because I need to start getting ready. I do some more paperwork before I head off to work. But I'll see you tomorrow at 3.
Yes, 2 p.m. too.
Okay, I'll see you tomorrow. And to the rest of the family, y'all keep pushing. Love you all. Take
Yes.
care.
Okay, brother
Yes,
Shabbat,
sir.
you too.
Cool.
Cool.
Brother Shabbat, that's our brother. That's family forever for life. And that's so true. Everything he said, that's so true. The way that they're definitely curating this world that we're living in. I see Sister Shahida is here. Sister Shahida, we just looked at the video that you sent and what you told us in regards to the Neuralink, and that's what we're talking about right now. So we want to get some more input. Let's see, I have some more things sent in chat. Let's see. The hip hop artist that works with Elon Musk, Lil Uzi Vert. We can talk about our brother there. In February 2021, they publicly discussed plans to undergo experimental surgery to implant a Neuralink chip in our brother. The conversation began on Twitter when Philadelphia rapper tweeted the name of the company, leading to a direct exchange with musician Grimes, who is now online saying that Elon Musk is abusive. The two subsequently agreed to get brain chips together, with Grimes highlighting the philosophical concept of fluidity of identity in the virtual age and splintering into unlimited avatars. Very interesting group of people. Next, we have tech executive who made the statement is Alexander Wang, the founder and CEO of Scale AI and the head of Meta's Super Intelligence Lab. Wang shared his sci-fi parenting plan on Sean Ryan's show, explaining his reasoning. He believes that since artificial intelligence is outpacing human biology, the next generation will need to link directly with machines to keep up will need to link with machines to keep up and avoid obsolescence. The timing, he wants to wait until Neuralink or similar brain computer interfaces are highly advanced. I think he said he wants to wait to have children until he can birth them and immediately put a Neuralink chip in the head. He says the development window, he cited the critical neuroplasticity of the first 7 years of a child's life, noting it is the optimal time to wire the brain and seamlessly integrate brain-computer interfaces. While his comments were widely discussed for taking a page from Elon Musk's futuristic book of parenting, his perspective has prompted mixed opinions online regarding the ethics and developmental implications of using technology on children.
And they've already done that. See, artificial intelligence has been around since Apple
For a long time.
Model 4. But the whole thing with the GPT, AI stuff now, there's suicides. Kids are committing suicides. This grown man, white man, 23 or something, went outside in his driveway to listen to Chat GPT, and more reports are coming out. But this young man was out there for an hour, went back into the house, was talking to his parents, went into his bedroom and killed himself after listening to that. So I think one of the things that came to mind as we were listening, as you were speaking, was that we need people, like as we're doing events and stuff, we need to reach out to people who are of the right mindset to be a part of BUCU, because it's a community organization and a lot of them will donate, but a lot of people know stuff that other people don't know. For example, when I was in technology, when I first started, that I told you about, Google was kicked out of Australia, the country, all the way because they were spying on people in their backyards. They had cars driving around picking up intel as they was driving in the neighborhood. So when Google got over here, the only reason why I use Google, I worked at a place where I had to have Google email. That's all they used. But we're at a place now where they're in with Trump, they're in with Elon Musk, Google, their whole thing. I don't use their website or anything, and they're being sued now. I don't know if you know this. Currently, there's a $198 million suit against Google for spying on people. And they even do TVs. If you buy new TV, make sure I connected with Google.
Yeah, because they can. That's
right. So I think
crazy.
that's
Even
one
those
thing that they can do immediately.
yeah, even those vacuum robots, they have a camera on them.
Yes.
And so, they have a little robot, it's like a little circle, and like you can have it at your house, and you can, so like your loved one can control it. Like say you have a loved one that lives across the country and you want them to be able to feel like they're in the house with you. Well, you can buy this really expensive little robot and they can control it from across the country and just roll all around the house, talk to you through the speaker. And to think that technology is not being used also to spy on you, to train AI, and to ensure that they know exactly what's going on in people's house. I think last week we talked about the flock cameras and how the flock cameras capabilities are increasing, and they're going to be able to use those flock cameras in trials, criminal trials. So if you're sitting down at a park and the flock camera overhears you saying, hey, I did a hit and run, they can use that in a criminal trial.
Yeah.
You're sitting there talking about anything. You be talking about blackness. They identify extremists. One of the extremists that they've identified is the black extremist. That's one of the labels that the FBI is tracking and targeting. And so you can be talking about blackness and they can use that against you. So we're living in a surveillance state, an occupied surveillance state. That's the United States of America that we are living in for sure. Okay, I'm just going to overview a few things because this has opened up some interesting conversations. Let's see. Because in our live 3 to 5, we've been talking about these algorithms and the long, the people who run the world right now have long been studying us. And so in our study, we go back to, let's go back. We go back to the heart as the first thing, as far as rhythm, as far as using rhythm to form patterns, to control the mind. That's an ancient Black African science. That's not something that the white man, that Elon Musk, that none of them produce. They get that from us. And the first sign of it is our heart. It is our pulse. It gives us life. The rhythm of the heart is not just, it's not just happenstance. It's not just, it just happens to be that way. No, that is by design. When your heart is off rhythm, that is a medical illness. Your heart is supposed to be in rhythm. And so that's something that stands out. And so we have a lot of research on that, on the importance of the heart. But then you go into the first instruments being used, drums, percussions, that all comes from our culture, our people. The first physical instrument is the drum, and that is traced back to Africa. And then we have history of drums being used all across the diaspora, and this is how we know we're connected. In America, they banned the drums for a time because during a slave revolt, a slave walked around with a drum, beating the drum as the signal for the revolt. So they banned drums for Black enslaved people. In Barbados, they did the same thing. And then you see, we have, what do we do when we do stump? That is not just happenstance either. We're talking about vibration and sound, and we use that as a way to not only send messages, but use it as a way to change mood. So this science comes from us, and we have to understand that this science comes from us so that we don't get intimidated when we start talking about someone as, diabolical as Elon Musk and the rest of them, and think that they're so much smarter than us. Well, what they have is just a tiny piece, and look what they've been able to build just on a little bit of our knowledge. This comes from our culture. And so Then we talk about how they've used these things, how we can use this for mind control. We use rhythm. We use music. We're the most musically inclined people on the entire planet. However, we know that they're using sound to control people, and they've long been doing that. So even, let me make it a slideshow. In this video, he gives just a brief explanation that kind of reveals it's like a revelation, like, wow, I never thought of that. So we'll just get a tiny piece of this.
Let me know what you think about this. Watch this one.
How many things in your life beep? Think about this. You get in the car today. How many times does it beep? It beeps when you open the door. It beeps if you don't put on your seatbelt. It beeps when you do anything. Oh, you're getting a little close to the car to the right. It beeps. Think about your washer machine. It beeps when you open the door. It beeps when you close the door. It beeps when you turn it on. It beeps when you turn it off. Think about how everything is beeping, 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 beeping. This is just one sound technique that's designed to control your brain, to put you in a controlling state. Really? How do you train a dog? They have a clicker. You make the sound, click, and then you give the dog a treat. And the dog connects the sound of the click with the treat, or the sound of the click with the penalty. And then it learns. You are controlling the animal.
So that's just one example of sound being used to condition and control mind. And that's something that stands out. And so there are, companies that are using mind control technology. And this is just one of them, BrainTap. It's a wellness and neurotechnology company funded by Patrick K. Porter. The company focuses on stress reduction, relaxation, sleep improvement, mental performance, and guided brain training sessions to using a combination of audio, visual, and light simulations. And so you put the control in the hands of these people, these capitalists, these world controllers, these people who see Black people as less than, as the perfect people to experiment on, as African people as disposable, because there's so many of us on the planet, they're disposable, and then you allow for them to experiment on you. And so then we'll just have some relations of this to the devil's algorithm and how they are also using algorithms. So think of the algorithm as that beep in your mind as you're scrolling on social media. That algorithm is controlled. It's also not just an accident. This is by design. The algorithm is designed not only to track the things that you like, the things that you watch. They can tell, even if you don't watch a video, they can tell how long you stay on that video. This person stayed on that video for 2 seconds. They logged that. This person liked this video. They logged that. And then your algorithm with AI is automatically curated to either continuously feed you certain things that maybe you like, or to dissuade you from certain things. So you start getting into Blackness. You start to see a lot of negativity from the Black community, Black conscious people fighting and arguing because you're getting into Blackness. Those things are purposeful. And then we related this to directed energy. So this is just a little bit of information on directed energy weapons that the government has that they can use to control people and that they have used to control people. One of the scientists, there are 12 scientists that are either missing or have faced untimely deaths. Either they cannot be found, they either walked out of their home, left their phone and everything behind, and they've been missing ever since, or they've tragically been killed. Somebody killed them, they dropped dead. What's going on? 12 scientists, and a lot of them work in neurology. Well, one of those scientists, her name is Amy, and she said that she was being targeted and being tortured by directed energy weapons so that she would stop personal research she was doing into the brain and went into what the country is doing. And then she was dead. She made a video beforehand saying she's not suicidal, she will not kill herself. However, she was found dead and her death was ruled a suicide. So diabolical country that we're living in, but they have these weapons. And these are 3 videos. We won't watch them today, but these are 3 videos where the Air Force in the government are talking about these directed energy weapons. This is 330 suspected victims of directed energy weapons. I don't know why I clicked off.
We are.
Okay, let's see what else we have. Okay, and then Brother Shabbat talked about, you know, what do these people want? What do they want? And this is important for us to know how powerful we are, not only how powerful our brains are, how powerful our bodies are. The Mr. Alexander Wang said that technology is outpacing human biology. According to what? According to what? They wish that they can do what our bodies can do. And so this is billionaire Peter Nygaard on camera offering Black women money for their biological material. So think of our Black youth going missing, our Black girls going missing. These are actually two billionaires here. And they're talking about how important the Black woman's stem cells, placenta, her eggs are to this table of young Black girls. So let's look at this.
The stem cell technology that Peter and I are investing in is called SCNT, which takes the egg of a young, perfect woman specimen, takes the egg and takes out the nucleus and puts our DNA in the nucleus. They just go in and take it out.
Paid for it?
Huh?
Is it paid for Jesus?
Yeah, and this is part of this genetic greatness that we don't see in any other race on the planet. These curvy, sexy Black women from Africa. You girls have a kind of a monopoly on this genetic perfection, and we want some of that. So, girls, for $100, we will pay you for your egg.
$100?
So how much do you want for it? Let's bid. I bid $500. You know, whatever I bid, he's gonna outbid me. I bought about $60,000 worth of eggs. Yeah. If you have abortion, that's very valuable. Umbilical cord, you know, placenta, you know, even your period blood is so rich with stem cells. When you regard it as waste, then it actually should be. It should be captured as recycled, and it should go to waste. It's life for somebody else, and it's life for mankind.
So this is a diabolical video for multiple reasons, but what he just said is very important because he said it's just biology for you, but it's life for the world. And they do this often where they say, well, you know, it's for the world, you know, it's for all of us. So the Black woman's biological perfection, as he put it, is for the world. But I'll give you $100 for it. But we want some of that. We need some of that. And it's for the world. It's just, you know, your abortion. What was the sister at our event talking about? She was talking about abortion and how he said the placenta, the umbilical cord, is very, very valuable. It's just, you know, you could just hand that on over to us, but this is for the world. And so this is what we're up against when we're talking about the diabolical nature of these people and how they target our community. It's no coincidence at all. We are beyond valuable. So when they say that technology is outpacing biology, they're doing this so that they can have immortality. That's what Peter Nygaard, who has multiple child abuse allegations against him and sexual allegations against him, which is no coincidence because he's trying to take people's stem cells and DNA. He is trying to find the key to immortality. And he believes that key is in Black women, young Black girls. And that's very important to know. And so the creator Maswalsi for Muhammad, his messenger of glory, most honorable Elijah Muhammad, and from Muhammad the Alamesh Jamin moves for. This is just to show us how important it is for us to be mindful at all times and how we have to use this knowledge to our benefit to protect our community. And so something else we got in chat, let's see. Technology and evolution are tools that historically have been misused by devils. That's why our ancient Kemetic priests hid high knowledge. They foreseen this as the setting of the stage for Armageddon, which involves zombies or human drones, mind manipulation through false education and false religion. These began thousands of years ago. Now advanced and accelerated through the zombie drugs and directed energy, Manchurian candidates, Havana effect, and MK Ultra. Now all that diabolicalness is accelerated by AI. So God offers us natural universal harmony, third eye self-integration in a natural spiritual way. Yet we hid it from devils because they misuse such supernatural gifts for evil. And that's what we have naturally. God planned the beginning from the end, so devils think that they're in control, but God controls the devil. We use mind attraction to influence and encourage righteousness, yet the ultimate controlling factors are programmed 50,000 years ago. Every thought, every action, yin and yang were calculated by Black scientists long ago. These ancient African scientists are referred to in the Bible and Holy Quran as the Elohim of the Godhead, referred to as the exalted assembly. And so we have to identify these things, and we have to know that what has been put in us, what God has given us, is far more powerful than technology. And we know that we have to live in this world, so we use technology, and we're supposed to use technology. And we always had technology. That also comes from our people, but we wouldn't use technology for evil. But we definitely have to be in these spaces. We have to be on social media because that's where our children are. That's where young Black girls walking down International in Oakland are. That's where they are. And they don't even know that they are this beneficial to people who will use not only their mind, not only their influence, but literally their body for diabolical intent. And so this is what we are talking about as a BUCU and understanding the importance of it. And so that's why Neuralink and the targeting of Black people, when you use a Black man as one of the first people to get the chip, to promote the chip, to push it out. We're the influencers for the world, but Black people listen to Black people. We're immediately gonna pay attention. Hey, that's a Black man. What is he saying? Oh, he's promoting this technology. Maybe I should consider it. And that's what we don't want to do. But that information is for our youth, because we know everyone on this line isn't going to do it. But what about the little 19-year-old young man who does nothing but scroll on social media all day? He doesn't interact with people on a daily. He's very shy, and he thinks that Neuralink will advance his life. It'll get him a girlfriend, get him friends, he'll get a good job. That's the person that we want to get to. And so we'll open the line again for some more input as we land this beautiful ship. Yes, answer one.
Yes, ma'am. It's very important that the people understand how real it is. I think a lot of people don't. A lot of people always think that, or that people that go into some of this research is conspiracy theorists. That'd be one of the first things that they try to label you as when you start bringing in the concept of mind control. But, remember, right there with MK Ultra was the 1950s through the 60s.
Yeah.
And Sidney Gottlieb, throughout that particular time, was over that operation. And he was not arrested, and he was not charged for what happened during the MK Ultra trials. In the MK Ultra trials, Bill Clinton came out and had to apologize for the very real experiments that were happening on people during that time. William J. Casey. This is a person that was over the CIA during the crack epidemic. And during the crack epidemic, they intentionally had basically gave a blind eye to the Nicaraguans who were bringing in and smuggling in the cocaine. And of course, that William J. Casey, from what we see, if you look up, did William J. Casey ever get jail time, or did he ever resign due to the fact that all of that was happening during his time. And no, that man did not resign due to the crack epidemic. And it's interesting because when you think about the crack epidemic, what makes us think that that wasn't mind control?
Right.
During the time that they are allowing crack to invade the community. I mean, we know the source of crack was cocaine, and they knew the addictive properties that were inside of cocaine. However, it was one of their own white men, it was one of their own white officers that was in Florida actually teaching the process to make crack. And so remember, we Black people didn't know how to do this stuff. We didn't know how to mix these chemicals, rock it up, and then go out to the street and sell it to our people and see what, we didn't know any of these things. This is some things that they taught us. Under William J. Casey, none of those things were addressed. None of those people were arrested. I mean, it always takes you also back to the Tuskegee Airmen experiments. Another very real experiment. Now, this was in a medical way because they were testing syphilis within our people. However, the scientists and the doctors there intentionally were experimenting on us because they just wanted to see what would happen. But of course, they withheld the antidote. In that particular, by withholding the antidote, you then have now invaded countless Southern communities with syphilis, and people died. Go back to the doctors, and none of those doctors were put on trial. None of those doctors, and many of the whistleblowers. I mean, the whistleblowers had to go through hell just to reveal, because they're an insider. They're right there. They're with these particular doctors, they're with these particular scientists, they're seeing these things happen, and they're trying to find ways to get it to the public. And look at the hell when you go and you look at what these whistleblowers had to go through, all the hoops that the government was doing to stop them from being able to get it out to the public. As a matter of fact, the government almost got it to a point where if you're a whistleblower, we're going to kill you. Like, that's just it. You're a traitor. You're a traitor to the country. If you reveal yourself, or if you come out as some kind of whistleblower, we are establishing laws at this point to actually get rid of you. They're really trying to scare people from being whistleblowers. So these trials, these mind control trials, these drug trials that are done to our people, what you have to always take into consideration is there was no recourse when they got caught.
Right.
So when you see somebody like Elon Musk come from South Africa, and he's coming up over here acting like the golden boy who is going to introduce the new scientific innovation to the world, you have to take into consideration, look at how they cover their own. They want, and of course they'll start with a Black community. Of course they're going to start with a Black man. You know what I mean? We don't know what kind of damages might happen long term. You know what I mean? This was the same with COVID. This is why they said you can't have a vaccine that quick. You got to go through trials. It's years for a vaccine to be approved. But who did they go to start experimenting on to see the effects of the vaccines? And what kind of pressure did they put on the public? Not necessarily through their so-called policy, but in the news, in social media and all of that, to actually shame you into getting the vaccine. Actually going to your place of work and being like, hey, you're by anybody that is working at your particular place of business, those particular people are putting the rest of the public in danger because they didn't take the vaccine. And they went through all of these manipulative and diabolical methods to get people to go ahead and agree to be experimented on. So with all that in mind, with all that considered, what would make anybody think that they would not be experimenting on you when it comes to these chips? There are so many other openings that comes to a chip being in your brain. You know about hackers. It's just ridiculous to even think that if I get into technology and the technology is now allowing for me to control a computer, what makes you think that hackers couldn't get involved with that? And then what makes you trust the government that is watching you through the chip? I mean, the chip is another ultimate method of detection. You already know you're being watched by every single camera that is in society. So what would make you think that the chip is not being tracked? That they're not watching your every move through the chip? And then what would make you think that they ain't looking into how could we control the person through the chip? They just said that the fibers are so fine, it can send electrodes through to your neurons. These people have been studying the brain for a long time. When you learn about the brain, there's different parts of the brain. There's different parts of different neuron clusters that will actually control your mobility. So what would make you think that they're not looking into experimenting on how we can control the mobility of a person? How we can get that person to do certain things. Now, just like as the CCFC had already shown, they already got directed energy. They admit it. You can look up directed energy weapons. That is a real thing. So with all that considered, they already are testing frequencies out on you. I mean, COVID, many people still think that it's conspiracy theory that the 5G waves that have been released may have something to do with so many people being affected by COVID. Now, when that gets proven, because some people think that frequency waves and all of that, even though it's invisible, it has no effect on your brain. However, could the fact that you as a government was racing China and racing all these other countries to achieve 5G, and now you're trying to get 6G and you're trying to get 7G, could that have something to do with the initial quick amount of deaths that it jumped up when you at first released your first 5G waves through your towers? Is there a connection? I mean, now for us, that wouldn't be far-fetched at all. And I wouldn't be surprised that if I go 30, 40 years later, one of your so-called officials come apologizing to what they did to the public. But in one of their science, it's the same argument that they use when it comes to experimenting on fetuses. You think that these people are getting abortions and they take these fetuses and they just throwing them away. No, they're using the fetuses. They call it a necessary evil. America had slavery as a necessary evil. The abortions and the fetus research and what they've been able to achieve through fetus research, it was a so-called necessary evil. This is what they're going to keep doing all the way until they get wiped out. So those are things that, that shouldn't be far-fetched for any of our people to understand and even consider and believe. Is you have to know you can't trust anything. So if you get into technology, first and foremost, look at the owner, research the owner, research his views. That should tell you enough. I got this piece of technology, but I'm already knowing the person that's administrating this type of technology, that person there is racist. And for the most part, a lot of them that are in technology are very racist and biased to their own people. And most of them are white. And they keep Black people about them rooms. It's not like we're not brilliant enough to do what they're doing. They keep us out of the rooms on purpose. But, those are some things to keep in mind.
Yes, Sajala. Yeah, we agree.
May I say something about frequencies and music? Vocals and drums from Africa were the first instruments. And that's how they communicated. And still all the way up to here in terms of frequencies and sounds, that's how you can affect an audience. That's how you can affect, I'll just say a little bit about me. So during the pandemic, I used to go to Piedmont Gardens where the old people like just pass away or whatever. Piedmont Garden has the whole thing. They bring you in as a senior and they roll you out after you're dead and you just stay there. But I would go and first I would connect with my spirit, see what I needed to sing. And I wasn't singing new gospel, I was singing old hymns. And then I would walk around as I was singing and people would be healed. People would be, there would have been comas all the way up to, and I was a little afraid of doing this, but then I got used to it. People were asking me to come and sing to them as they passed away.
Yeah.
Well, frequencies and sounds are very, very highly effective in what you hear and what you do. My type of music is jazz, R&B, and gospel, but everything has a message and a story.
Absolutely.
That's what I want to give to the future, and that's how I was raised. So I just want to say in support of what's happening and what we need to be aware of, we definitely know that there are ways to do that, even if you're just a DJ on the radio, which I used to be. And so we can be very effective through music and sound. That's all I want to say.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. My sound went out. Okay. I hope you guys can still hear me. Yes. Oh, okay. Yes, that is beautiful. I think that even when we think of slavery and something that because this is our nature, right?
Right.
But during slavery, our people are in the field singing. And that changes our mood. And so we have to think about how the slave master who's watching those slaves be able to survive this condition. But one of the things that we use, which they just think is entertainment, and even today they control the entertainment industry, but they can't control everything in the entertainment industry. So you still have a lot of that, power in some of these lyrics, and they want to control that for evil, but we know we have to control it for good. But when you see that, that's like you said, that's that frequency. And so that's very, very beautiful. That's very, very beautiful. And so I've seen Sister Shahida with her hand up. Sister Shahida, are you still here? Okay, I see your screen. Yes, ma'am. Sister Shahida.
Yes. Oh, yes, ma'am. I was gonna say, I was wanting, to talk about that type of, that because like when it comes to medical technology, it's not to, of course, not to scare nobody, but it's just for our people can get used to doing research and get back to supporting one another, because there's a lot of people who are in that industry too who are unknown, like unsung heroes, and they don't have the funding, and they're going around doing presentations, and they're trying to get people to donate so it can be, so we don't have to deal with this enemy, and to to also to expose him for what it is, because he one thing about the people who work with Eli and all it, Elon, excuse me, and his camp and others who put their money on, they'll make it sound so good. Oh, we want to help people with it, what are the quadriplegic people, we want to help them, we want to help people with epilepsy, and it has absolutely nothing to do with that, because they're not going to push. Another thing they're not going to do is push a line. Once, let's just say everybody's like, okay, yeah, this is here, this is, these things are even in your local doctor offices and whatever, they're going to offer it, whatever. They're not, half of the time when they have these when you're dealing with medical technology, not all the time they won't even test it all the time. If it's, let's say for instance, if he already had like another device, they will take that as like basically like face value. Oh, we already tested the other one, we're not even testing this one. And a lot of people don't know that. They think all of it is being tested before it comes into the medical professional hands, and that's not always the case. So it's just like, we definitely got to watch out for this enemy, but also like, also see like which one of our, and of course people can donate to the the blueprint of that the Nation of Islam has, because we're trying to have hospitals and all of that stuff. But people can do research and say like, okay, which one, which one of our people are and one of inventors that got something that they're trying to get everybody behind, and see how we can get behind, because a lot of times a lot of people are not really interested in that. So a lot of our people have to go to the others to try to get some support for these very wonderful inventions that we come up. And they ain't got no problem with biting. They, like you said, all of this, they ain't the ones that they're just stealing pieces of our minds and try to create stuff. They are known for stealing patent ideas and putting it out as their own and using their manpower to win in court. So that's all I wanted to say on that.
Yes, ma'am. Yeah, that's very, very true. Very true. And we gotta be mindful. That's how we gain true freedom. We have to free our mind from the shackles of, just allowing for, them to just sway us this way and that way. I see in chat we have Inscribed put, you can see how white women's birth rate is nearly 0, while Nigeria's birth rate is off the charts. We have immeasurable value in our minds and our bodies and in our motherland. The world truly does need us, and we are the mothers and fathers of civilization. We naturally encourage sharing our gifts in a BUCU bouquet of love with other races, yet diabolical devils would rather lie, cheat, steal, and kill to manipulate and rule over such resources themselves. Absolutely. And absolutely. And we don't want to, and like you said, like even Africa, they want to destabilize Africa and keep Africa in a destabilized state so that they can rape the continent of its resources instead of just stepping back, go back to your own country, first of all, and Africa can establish a free market, an open market where they can trade and sell goods at a price that makes sense, that's beneficial for the country and its citizens, and you can purchase goods like any other country on this planet. But they don't want to do it that way. They want to instead rape and steal resources from Africa, which is diabolical. So any other input before we land this ship on the things that we've spoken about? I see Sister Francine on the line, and to Demise, we haven't heard from them. And Miss Lee, you wanted to share something?
No, I just want to say, please send me the information on the grant.
Okay.
I put my email there, and I'll be there tomorrow.
Okay, definitely. I'll send it to you right after this meeting.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Yes, Sajala.
Sajala, sir.
Yes, family. How's everybody doing today?
We're doing well.
That's good. That's good. Yeah, self really got to keep it real short. So we really like at a point in time where what BUCU is really about, and the things when you talk about Africa and we talk about the world in a sense of unity is really a part of it's like a word that's like holy water on a vampire, and to these demons. And so it's really like a bad situation for them. And the more that it comes out of our mouth, the more that it comes out of our heart, and the more that it comes out of our mind, it's really like putting nails in the coffin on this demon, because it's the only thing that's stopping us from being successful in the world. And it's the one key that's been placed out there for every other race in the world to keep somewhat of success, even within the belly of the beast. And so even within this belly of the beast, the unity of the Asians, you get Chinatown, you get Little Korea, even in the belly of the beast, you get what we be calling Little Tijuana. You know what I mean? Because there's all the Mexicans in that section of the barrio, but that's still part of unity. And then when you have that unity, you have a form of a certain power to bring yourself and control your community. You have a certain power to be able to control your youth. You have a certain power to be able to defend your women and defend your elders and defend your babies against some of this bombardment of the mental and sickness that comes out of the mindset that's given on the community. But where our community is, we don't have that unity. So we divided. We got the Crips against the Bloods. You know, we got the Muslims, a certain mindset against the Hebrews. We got the Christians against the Muslims. We got the Jehovah's Witnesses against them. And so, but we all black, and we got this devil against us. So we fighting internally while he watch us fight internally. And any of us that fall outside of the realm of the circle of what he's trying to confine us in, he can kill that one easy. You know what I mean? It's like watching a bunch of us in the barrel, as they say, the crabs in the barrel. And when one crab fall out the barrel, he knock that one on and throw him in the pot. You know, all right, don't worry about that one. We got that one. You see, so it's a concern of the mindset when we say unity, and just to be able to be talking about unity as black people, where we like, nah, we not banging for that. You know, oh, well, you know what they say over there? The Christians just told me about the Muslims. Yeah, we not banging with that. You know, well, you know, the Hebrews over there. Yeah, we not banging with that. We know black people, and we know we unite under one banner for black people. And that God, that name that you use to bring in God, don't worry about that part at this particular moment. Let us show you that you tripping, that you loving and romancing the wrong stone. You know, that you over there hanging out, and you don't realize that that illusion that's been placed over your mind is a delusion that you looking at, and you trying to figure out why you keep getting stung. Well, you laying up against a damn scorpion. You rubbing it like you love it. Oh, yeah, he's my friend. Oh, man, it's so cool. Not realizing he keeps stinging you. And every time he's stinging you, dying a little bit more. So when you got people over here telling you, look, opening your eyes, what that thing said, the sounds, them sounds, okay, same thing. This sound of our voices, this sound of unity, this sound that's ringing is a sound and a tone that's supposed to be on our mind. It's supposed to be waking our mind up. It's often we use sounds as alarm systems to wake us up when we've been in a deep, deep sleep. When you've been so tired and some of us know that you've been working 20 hours. And you only got them 4 hours to deal with as far as a meal and some sleep. And then you go to sleep and you do got to get back up. So you got an alarm, and you set one of them alarms that vibrate the bed, knock the pillow off the top to shake your head, and you wake up and look at it, knock it off the desk and go back to sleep. See, so there's a particular sounds that's even for the mind to wake us up. And so that particular alarm system is us. You know, God is using us. He's using this thing. He's using things like BUCU to be able to tell you, listen, you know, wake up and come over here with true self. Wake up and come over here with your true reflections. Go out there and tell your people about this too, because the simple fact that it's a salvation of a mindset, man, this is the lifeboat, you know, and we swimming around with piranhas and sharks, and they really demonic about how they get down with us. And so, you know, we just got to be able to know that that's a real key. That's why they hating it in Africa right now. When you got them 3-4 countries united, we never seen nothing like that as far as and so I'm not no youngster in this world. And I keep telling people, man, I done seen presidents come and go. You know, and as black people, we didn't survive through it. We done been through some demonic presidents, you know, declaring a war on drugs. No, you declaring a war on black people, you know, for the simple fact that 5 crack rocks, you can make 200-300 crack rocks out of an ounce or two of powdered cocaine that the white boy carrying around, and he get 6 months probation for carrying around that much cocaine, and the cocaine you get for 5 rocks of that was 5 years each, 3 years each. They was really making it where they was like, you getting caught with drugs. There's people I know that was in drugs for marijuana. They do 10, 15, 20 years. You know, the white boy growing the weed up there up north, bring it down here, he get caught with 20 pounds of the weed. They tell him, you know, don't be bringing the weed down here no more, and we're going to give you some probation, and you go back up north and grow your weed up there. They tell the brother that get caught with 1 pound of that, you get 5 years. You know, and so we know for the fact that this has been how it's been, and it's been this way. I'm not talking about I don't know what y'all thinking. What this devil been here for 8-9 years, great. The 2000s, let's go past the 2000s, the 90s. You know what I'm saying? When they was making 3 strikes laws for brothers to go to jail for stealing Pampers. When they was making the 3 strikes laws, the sisters going to jail trying to steal some food to feed their baby. When they was making the 3 strike laws, these so-called love presidents,
Bill Clinton, the black president, he signed that in. You know what I'm saying? What's Obama, whatever his name is, not Obama. What's the one was with Obama, the white boy? You know what I'm saying? Can't remember his name no more. Biden. You know what I'm saying? Okay. He the one wrote this up. So we got love for demons and devils. We be calling these fools like they on our time, on our team, on our side, on our mind. You know, like they came here with us, like they came to pick us up like it's the bus and we at the bus stop. Oh yeah, it's the black bus. That's not the black bus. And then when we get some unity, it's real, real crazy to them because us just being unified like this is a dangerous sign for them. It's a dangerous time for them because it's no way. Each one go tell one, yeah, it's really some black unity out here. I've been somewhere where they wasn't banging over whether they was Christian, Jews, Muslim, Hebrews, none of that. They said we was black people. They said, come over here. We're going to get you some food, some shelter. We're going to get you some money. We're going to show you how to get your own money. We're going to tell you how to start getting ready to get up out from under this devil. And so that's big and that's big. And whether you see it or not, it's really Godzilla. This not Gazuki. You know, Gazuki is cool. Gazuki is thinking we should be pro-black. You know, Gazuki is like, I really would love to be with black people. You know, I think that that's where I really belong. That's Gazuki. But when you start talking about Godzilla, yeah, to actually get into unity, yeah, we're actually breathing fire and they really running. So, you know, it's good. I apologize. I say I'll keep it brief. I don't mean to, you know, go off, but
no, that's
all
excellent.
it is. So, Sajalahu.
Yes, sir, Sajalahu. That's excellent. Excellent. And that's the beauty. With just to let you all know, at our September event, we're going to have a nation's prayer. That's when we're going to, at the start of our event, show that unifying way at the beginning. So we're inviting people from multiple schools of thought to come and join in on this unity prayer. And so prayerfully, if you are there, you can be a part of that. We're going to have a Christian pastor, of course, a Muslim, Nation of Islam, and Orthodox. Prayerfully, we're going to reach out and we can see if they agree with this unifying theology, because this is what we are truly about here at BUCU. We have Muslims, Christians, nationalists, and all that already on our board. And so we're not just talking about the unifying theology, we're doing it. And that's what our people need to see, because the more that we come together, the more we become a threat. And separating us as a diaspora and diaspora wars is one of the methods that are used to keep us subjugated and not allowed to continue to grow. And so I see Sister Francine, I see Imani just got on. We do have to land this ship. So everyone keep it brief. We'll go to Sister Francine. I see you put in chat a few things, and Sister Francine's so educated on so many things. So if you will pass you the line to share with us, you put in Sacred Geometry by Gaia on Amazon Video, more science on polarity, quantum physics, etc., and soursop bitters to help with parasite cleanses. And so thank you, Sister Francine, for that. And we'll pass the line to Sister Francine to share with us some input on all the things that we've seen and talked about today. We've traveled a lot.
Okay, so I'll try to skinny it down, but
okay.
I don't know if it's going to entirely make sense. But when I watched, I'm still kind of watching that film on Gaia, because it had a lot of polarity, and I trained in a practice for polarity. But in the film, it gives you different examples of polarity and how important geometry is, because it just describes the particles in the universe and how they anyway, it's very visual, so it gives you shapes of geometry shapes that are associated with the particles in the universe and how the planets fit in, and how the universe is not they were saying the universe is not round. In a shape. But he explains it very concisely, and then he got down to personal practice, how we're in a shape, and he had a person showing their hands open, and Well, you just I can't fully describe it because you have to see the visuals while he's doing it. That's why I'm watch it again. But it made more sense with the what I learned from my teachers was so watered down. I just want to say, when he starts talking about the real science and he brings the geometry in, and then he talked about personal, like your personal practice, and he even brought it down to people that are doing practice with polarity and stuff, and how they need to kind of, well, not power yourself up, but energize yourself. That we have the power to recharge ourselves, and so that gave me some ideas about. I always said, meditation, prayer meditation is the basis of all these like indigenous practices. So, but when he put the science on it, it was very fascinating, and it made me question, like, I have learned that I had acquired this addiction to alcohol based on getting my gut poisoned by something that was pure alcohol that I thought was fine when I was 21, and that was just sort of laying there. And during meditation, it got exposed. So. And then what the idea came to me, not completely, but it was just a small voice, kind of like, or small idea. It was very subtle, to go to AA meeting and really learn what the disease of alcohol is. I mean, it's a chemical addiction, but what is it, So my belief, you get drunk one time and that's it. Your gut is like captured by that disease. I mean, our African, scientists, the Egyptians stuff, they put it in their writings. Be very careful with the use of this. I mean, they used it for preservatives and things that were important, but using it, they were not adhering to that, drunkenness and stuff. They knew the sickness that could lead to. So I noticed that it also opens you up to frequency. That's it. It puts you on a low frequency. And so you'll have this low, and he talks about that, where you have these, something negative, that's like running on. He talked about us, that human beings are so complex. The universe is so complex. The divine created us so complex that we literally exist on different frequencies all at one time. With and the quantum physics will tell you that. I mean, when we actually see what we look like, when we look at each other, we're actually looking at 4 or 5 of us at one time. But that's because we have, like, our lenses have something like bees have. We see multiple versions of ourselves, but somehow our brain focuses on one version of ourselves, but we're actually in different frequencies. So, but what that gave me the idea of practice is really important to personal practice, and I noticed the voice of temptation seems to be louder than the voice of reason most of the time, in my experience. And so I began to question. I need to ask the divine to up my voice, the voice of reason, because I didn't question that before until I watched this video. It inspired me to say, wait a minute, there's something wrong here. Why is the voice of temptation louder than the voice of reason? That shouldn't be. The voice of reason should be louder. And so I questioned it, and I just kind of put that out there. So I was just, as a prayer suggestion, my sense is that, the voice of reason and our, what do you call it? Our intuition, all of that should be louder, and I was also started a cleanse too, with the soursop. I found a Caribbean medicine woman who said that, and I noticed that the soursop right away, it rendered some kind of strength. I'm not sure how, or if it was just starting to clear the parasites right away, but I noticed that things were coming out of, excuse me if anybody's eating, but things were coming out of my sinuses that I never saw before, just like really, even like crystallized stuff coming out of there that was in there. And I've done cleanses, like one with the polarity therapy tea and stuff like that, in a whole process, but it never brought anything out of my brain like that.
Wow.
You know, so check out the soursop. I'm not an expert on soursop, but it seemed to be doing pretty good, and that I like the discussion today. Definitely, yeah, they're doing stuff. I'm not sure about. I wanted to look into. Joy DeGruy gave a talk at the in San Francisco at the Rikifi Center, and she said that the Black birth rate is down, and I didn't believe her actually. So it's kind of like the I can't Louis Farrakhan in that book on slavery, those little pamphlets that he and got scholars together to write. There was one island where they said that there were 80% of the Jewish people on the island, they all had at least 4 slaves. So if you're looking at percentages, you have to do the smaller percentages and not just trying to do the whole global thing. It's like what's happening in different countries, not just come up with this figure and say the birth rate for Africans is low, because like you said, in Nigeria, it's not low.
Right.
You know, so that kind of, her math was terrible, actually. I didn't like her graph because it grouped everybody up into one lump sum, and it didn't give you an idea of what's actually happening around the world in individual countries, individual places where our people are. And it may not be as low as she said it was. I think that was a false kind of thing. But anyway, I just put that out there. You have to look at all the pieces, not just, and that kind of woke me up. It's like, it's not because some of the Jewish community was saying, oh, it's only 4%. But if you go to the island and 80% of the people are that own property and land are Jewish people, and they've got 4 slaves for each household, well, it's not 4%.
Yeah, that's true.
All right. Okay. That's all. Thank you for letting.
Yes. Thank you, Sister Francine. Yeah, that makes sense to do the smaller percentages. I could see how, you can wash out a need in certain communities if you're only looking at an overall umbrella view. So that's really good information. Thank you, Sister Francine.
Oh, and I did want to report on the Piedmont Gardens is not a good place to send people to. My mother's been there for 2.5 weeks, and they gave her bed sores, and now I'm finding out that they are good for giving people bed sores there. So it's supposed to be a place where you have a full service there. You have people who are retired there. They have apartments, and then they have like partial skilled facility and all that. But yet now I'm finding out, my cranial sacral therapist said that it's on the street that they're doing that, and the attorney I retained, thank you for your prayers, that's taken over off of retainer. She said I had 3 lawsuits. That facility, they don't look at they don't go move any. They move slowly, she said, on bed sores. That's how she put it. So they're a dirty facility. I sent the picture to my cousin who owns half a nursing skilled facility, and he said that's classic. That's lawsuit. Looking at lawsuit, but what I'm looking at is what are my chances for my mother for her longevity. So I wrote a cousin anyway, so she can read my email or not. I'm going to complain to everybody where I can, and the people at the ombudsman. This lady kind of started attacking me, and I thought, okay, you're attacking me about the restraining order and stuff. And I said, so what about my mother? She's got bed sores. She said, I saw her a week and a half ago. So what that means is those people know what's going on, but they're not doing what they're supposed to be doing. It's not a week and a half ago. It's all those other patients before. That place is dirty. She tried to say that maybe my mother doesn't want to contact me. So I know my mother. I don't have to believe her. She said she has a phone by her bed. I said, where is her cell phone, ma'am? And she said, well, she can call you anytime. I said, how do you know she remembers my number? Most of us use our cell phones and the numbers are inside there. We haven't necessarily memorized the numbers. So I did get a hold of the patient care coordinator at Kaiser, and he's gonna check in on her. So keep the prayers going. I think I'm going through this controlled chaos, and the divine seems to be ordering things, but I have to say quite often my cage gets rattled because I feel like I'm on a roller coaster. Thanks for letting me share.
Yes. Thank you, Sister Francine. Yeah, that's we're gonna continue to keep you in our prayers. Thank you for letting us know about that facility. We have to, of course, keep on the radar these facilities that mistreat our elders, because that's something that happens often, and that we can put that on a list even so that people know. Thank you, Sister Francine. That input was also very, very beautiful, very valuable. We are landing this ship, but we do see Imani on the line, and then we have someone on the line named Satal. So Satal, if you are available to speak, I know we are actually wrapping it up, but if you would like to, you can introduce yourself to the group here. Let us know what you do in the community, how we all can support you, and what you do in the community, and just a little bit about yourself so we can pass the line to Satal if you are available.
Hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Assalamu alaikum. How are y'all doing?
Wa alaikum salam. We're doing well.
I found out about this meeting through Africa.
Okay.
I met her when I got a massage from her at ABTP. I'm a chef. I make Northern Nigerian vegan food.
Okay.
Yeah, so I do festivals, I do catering, and I'm trying to figure out a different way to like offer my food like that speaks to the times that we're in, because I'm realizing there's so much shift in the food industry, and I'm also trying to like collaborate more with organizations and show up in spaces as a chef, because that is one of my easiest and most comfortable skills for me to share and like impact people in such great ways. And because it's rooted in like wellness and my own wellness journey too. So yeah, that's me.
Okay, can you put your information in the chat? We have an event coming up at the East Oakland Youth Development Center on September the 5th, and we are preparing to, invite a bunch of people. The facility is really big, and so we want to fill it up. But we can invite you. We'd love for you to either partner with us, come on as a vendor, or you can host a workshop. We'll have 3 workshop blocks, and it's based on our 12 jewels of life, which is knowledge, wisdom, understanding, freedom, justice, equality, food, clothing, and shelter, and love, peace, and happiness. And so in each of these categories, which it seems like you would fit the food jewel, you can either have a workshop where you talk about what you do, or do something with the youth. You can think about it, but that is what we have. And then, we are a collaborative of multiple organizations. On our board are multiple organization people who run these organizations. Our members all have their own organization or business, and we just support one another, share resources together, inform each other what's going on in our community, go to each other's events. That's kind of our thing. We're all about unifying the unifiers. And so I would definitely love for you to join our event, and then we can talk about what else is going on in the community and how you can be a part, and just how we can support you. Even if you're popping up somewhere, you can let us know, and anyone on our team who can make it can go. And that's basically what we do here. And we have a grant meeting on Wednesdays. So we're looking for funding for each other. So all of us are looking for funding. We help each other either find it, research it, or fill it out together. And for anyone who does music, we have a music meeting on Monday for all the musicians come together and discuss everything about music. Same thing as the grant meetings, kind of research, coming together, supporting each other's music. I see Sister Lee. I'll send you those details as well. So I see your information in chat. So do you have a restaurant, or you just like do pop-ups?
From last year, but because of the overhead cost, I kind of went back to doing pop-ups, more catering. But there are a few festivals that I've done in the past that I just do yearly. The Berkeley Vegan Festival is coming up, and then I do this year I skipped it, but I do the Juneteenth festival in San Francisco at the waterfront with Foodwise, and then I also at the Malcolm X Jazz Festival yearly I make food for the artists.
Okay, excellent. Okay, well, let's see how I'll send you our invite for the event that we're having, and then now that you are a part, you will get all of our information. So can you send me your email as well? We put your email in chat, your phone number. Okay. Okay, excellent. That is great. I really want some of that food. So I'll be out there in July, and I'm hoping to make my rounds to see everyone who's been supporting BUCU and make sure that we show up as well for everyone and what they're doing. So I'll be giving you a call.
Okay, lovely. I'm looking forward. What's your name?
My name is Aunt Sorrel Mohammed.
Okay, lovely. Nice to meet you.
Yes, nice to meet you as well, Satar. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. We've had a great conversation today. So let us land this ship with Imani. Imani, I received my grant to buy Sister Francine said she received her grant to get an electrical bike. Excellent. We actually have that link on our grants page. The county, I think, is giving out electric bikes or giving funding for people to get electric bikes. So that's great, Sister Francine. My sister lives in Oakland, so I can get one too. All right. Okay, so we'll go to Imani. Imani, if you can share with us briefly how you've been this week and how we can support you. Imani, you're performing this weekend, so you can tell us about that. You also have something else going on July 11th, so you can tell us about that as well. He's the president of Watch Me Grow and part of Team Hanif, him and his siblings. Similar to mine, they all are just amazing. They're always in the community. And his sister Jamila is the founder of Watch Me Grow, and their work with early childhood traumas is very important. And so we'll pass the line to Imani if you are available to tell us about how you have been and the events you have coming up.
Hi, family. How y'all doing?
We're doing good. How are you?
Doing good. I'm glad I was able to get on. I looked at the time. I'm like, oh. I said, oh yeah, we still on. Only 5.
Yeah.
Yeah. So first off, yeah. So I'm ministering through song on Saturday with a bunch of brothers and sisters and stuff. Let's just rewind back to this weekend. I went to Basic Ministries in East Oakland. And I saw Sister Princess there. She was in the building.
Okay.
So she got to see us get down and everything. And yeah, I was like, oh, what a coincidence. But yeah, man, I love to her. We've been chopping it up about getting together and doing some things for the youngins also. And as that sizzles on the skillet, it's a lot of things coming up, a lot of new things. A lot of new people I've been meeting through the marketing and stuff. Oh yeah, and then everybody on the line I'm supposed to take care of with a brand and T-shirt I'm gonna get with y'all. I promise.
Yes.
So I've been linked up with a lady that's doing cheerleading, and hopefully Jamila did what I told her to do and call the lady like she's supposed to. But she's out of Vallejo. She's starting her own cheerleading team. She's already does it for one of the schools, and the school that she does it for is actually one of the schools that's closing down. That was the school where we did the talent show and everything. I made the shirts for. It was the last day. They're actually the bittersweet thing with the building closing. Is, they're giving away. They are giving so many things to us, like a lot of like stanchions and a few things that we can use and stuff. So Jamila hit me today, telling me to get the van. She just tell me what to do. She don't even ask. Anyway, so yeah, so the lady working with her and doing some stuff, actually doing the uniforms for the girls.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's gonna be a little challenge, but I like the challenge. So figuring that out. Also, brother Shabbat on the line too. I need to give a brother Shabbat.
No, he had to get off.
Okay, I'm gonna give brother Shabbat. I got a guy overseas that I'm trying to get with to do some mass production on some things. But yeah, so Saturday we have Lake Fest. Me, Naru, and everyone was we was all talking on the line yesterday, and I think that same day is Oakland's Juneteenth. So So Oakland does their Juneteenth week after Berkeley, which is smart because Berkeley used to be the one we used to all go to. So so now they doing that. So it's gonna be Oakland Juneteenth and Lake Fest at the same time. One that's gonna be free, and the other one where they charging $23 to get in. So yeah, so that'll be interesting. But they have I heard they have through the grapevine they have a nice budget that they run. So I didn't hear anything about that. As far as like, oh yeah, we're gonna get compensated. I don't even care. Like that wasn't my whole thing of getting on anyway. But yeah, so we'll be doing that. And then we have what do we have coming? Yes, the 11th. The 11th. I have a friend out here. He's doing a giveaway. We are partnering with him to do some things in Fairfield. That's gonna be in Fairfield. There's gonna be kids, games, everything. August 1st, we have our resource fair, which we'll be reaching out to BUCU, anybody that wants to set up a booth for resources. So we're gonna put a list out with that. I think it's gonna be a Google form. I'm trying to learn how to do Google forms and stuff like that. I'm telling y'all, once I learn the formula, man, it's gonna be moving. We're gonna be moving on some stuff with all of these Google forms and content, all this stuff I'm trying to learn. And then going after more sponsorships, corporate sponsorships, which was one I talked to you about, Wells Fargo and everything. So I'm going after some other ones, going after a few people that actually hit me back, with some organizations, even some insurance organizations. Yeah, they do some stuff too. Yeah, and that's about it. And, oh, so when it comes to, I know that's a whole other meeting. But when it comes to our event we have, man, I would love to maybe have a breakout room or something to deal in emotional intelligence, well, next level leaders, which would be emotional intelligence and accountability with the boys and girls, the youth, or whoever. Yeah. I think I want to do that. That would be crazy for me not to. Yeah, and then yeah. Then the security, man. Let me tell you, look. So this school, we so Avery, Avery said, we outside the girl that be rapping with Larissa. So we ended up doing some security. We ended up sending security out there to do that. And they made, I guess they got with the person that was the admin of the OG that I do it with. They had some agreement. Man, do you know it's been about a month now and they have not paid these people yet. This is the cost of business. I guess this is how business go. Like I don't know why he didn't get it before or whatever like that, but these are things that me and brother Demonge talked about. It's a learning experience that people would like. Man, it's crazy. This is all kind of crazy stuff going on in Vallejo. I love Vallejo. And then the guy took I don't know if I told y'all, I did a logo for Juneteenth, and the guy took my logo and made shirts with it.
Wow.
Tell me. And I didn't know whether I was going to be Saul or Paul when I approached him. Everybody told me to be Paul. And I was like, oh, I'm going to be Paul. I approached him, and I'm just like, what happened? What's going on? Oh, I couldn't get in touch with you and this. And I was just like, oh, if I can't get in touch with a artist to use their sample they beat, then I'm not gonna use it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like what made you think it was okay? So that was a part of the Corvette Club. But like, I'm just gonna put it out there like that. We all family here.
Yeah.
I talked to the lady that runs it. I said I want to do your shirts moving forward. I take the business or I'll take my money. Whichever one. I'd rather take the business.
Yeah.
Be a lifelong family. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah.
Because I ain't the type, we all brothers and sisters and stuff, and then you gotta expose people because like I don't want to ever have to do that. Ever. So I
Yeah.
hope that won't be the case. Yeah, I didn't have a great experience with Vallejo Juneteenth.
Mm.
It was a good experience though. I found the good in it. Walked out, talked to the head. Me and her had a great talk. And I
Yeah.
let her know, and I said, because of y'all, because of the good stuff y'all do, I let y'all deal with it. So they said they're gonna deal
Yeah.
with it. And, I was compensated for what I did with the logo and everything. And, I said, okay. I mean, so anyway,
Yeah.
go on and land the ship. Thank y'all all for listening to me ramble on and everything. So yeah, I
Yes.
think that's about it.
Thank you,
One love,
Imani.
y'all.
Yes, we love you too. That is diabolical behavior. So prayerfully that brother learned something from that because that's not acceptable. That's not how we build community. But we'll be able to show that what a true community looks like, and prayerfully we can even invite brothers like that who to learn a little bit. They can sit in a workshop. But yes, we would love for you, Team BUCU. So we would love for you to host a workshop. And we don't have unlimited workshops, but we will make room for everyone who supports BUCU each week and is constantly online with us. Because the work that we do, and like our conversation today and everything we talked about, is very valuable, especially for our youth and for our community just overall, just to know how important we are to the world. The world tried to tell us that being Black was the worst thing that you could ever be. No matter where you are on the planet, if you darker, the darker you are, the worse you're treated. And we're going to reverse that mentality, that idea completely, and breed it out of our people, out of our minds and out of our brains and out of how we carry ourselves. We want to breathe in confidence in our youth. And that's what we're doing. And so we are going to land this ship. We will be online tomorrow for our grant meeting. It's actually called the Actions Meeting because we're doing whatever we can do together. So if someone wants to research something, we can do that together. If someone wants just some ideas, we can workshop that together. So it's just a workshop where we actually can do things as a group and share some ideas with one another. So that'll be tomorrow at 2 p.m. We pray that if you have time, you can join us. If not, we do this every Wednesday. Some Wednesdays I have to reschedule because I'll be having a lot going on. However, for most Wednesdays, we're online and we are striving to get something done. And our goal is to at least submit a grant once a month. So please join us, especially if you are experienced in grants. I'm a novice in grants. I think I've done two grants, I think, no, 3 grants. And so I'm continuing to learn. And so what we want to do is learn together, always get some ideas from everyone. And so please join us. And with that, we will land this beautiful ship and remain open in the name of the one true God. We know him by many names. We thank him for coming to us throughout time and sending us his prophets. We thank him for Moses and the Torah, for Jesus in the gospel, for Prophet Muhammad in the Holy Quran. We thank him for liberators who prepared the way for his coming to us, like Noble Drew Ali, Marcus Garvey, and countless others around the world who prioritize our community and our people. We can never thank him enough for coming in the person of Master Wallace Farah Muhammad, raising his messenger, the glorious Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad, their raising of their national representative, the Honorable Minister Farrakhan, and their return in and through their royal robe and remote control unit, and Surah Muhammad, the select one, the Allah Master J-Man. And we are thankful for this program of BUCU, for everything that we are learning and building together. And we cannot wait to see how it impacts our community. And with that, we will say, Sajadallahu, Assalamu alaikum, peace, Black love, and Black unity. Every saying that our community says, Ashe, get some sun. The sun's going down where I'm at, but if the sun is still out, please bless that melanin with some sun, and we'll see everyone tomorrow.
Bye.
Bye.
Now, Jalahu.
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 Record.